Okay, so I think you agree with me here that attracting women is one of our highest priorities as men. We're just constantly thinking about it, fantasizing about this girl and that girl at the gym, this girl in class or whatever, maybe at work. We spend a lot of our time just trying to get girls, right? So I think it's important to understand why like a lot of us struggle with it. And specifically, I'm talking to the guys who, like me, were raised by single mothers. Maybe you just didn't have that exposure to a relationship dynamic. You didn't see your mother and father together, and you didn't really see how a man treats a woman. Or maybe your dad never pulled you aside to, give you your start in your dating life, to give you some tips about how to actually speak to women. And maybe you grew up with some social anxiety, and you just didn't really get a chance to speak to that many girls, and you weren't that popular in school or university or in the workplace. Unless you're a Chad, of course. And if you are a Chad, then comment below saying, I'm a Chad, I get girls. So well done, bro. So I thought I'd make a video about why men raised by single mothers like myself might struggle with this specifically. Because a lot of the challenges are the same as for other guys who struggle with girls. Maybe they have both parents, but they still have a hard time. But there's some really specific issues to being raised by a single mother that really stops you from attracting the women you desire. And I'm just going to focus this video on the one thing that I think really moves the needle more than anything else you can do. So if you've taken any interest in the topic of dating and relationships, which I'm assuming you have, you'll be familiar with the usual advice of getting to the gym to get a good physique, dress better, be more fashionable, develop your confidence and charisma by being in social situations, become more accomplished in your career, in your business, develop a cool skill or hobby so that you gain the respect of other men and attraction from women. And that's all great. You should 100% be doing those things. And that helps both men who were raised by single mothers and those who were raised by both parents. But there's one thing that's much less often spoken about, and I think it's outright frowned upon to even discuss it in today's society, especially in the way that the media and schools are framing relationships between men and women, and the messages that are given to both genders in today's world. So to get to the point, the number one thing that, in my view, and this is anecdotal, but it's also the case that I've seen in other men that I'm friends with, the number one thing that you really want to be doing more than anything else to attract women, especially if you're raised by a single mother, is to lead a woman. Now, everyone's going to be like, okay, like lead a woman, right? Manipulation, right? Women are strong and independent. They can think for themselves. Like, stop, okay? I'm aware of that. I fully respect it. I'm not saying that's not the case. But you need to understand that deep down, that's how dating has been for decades, hundreds, thousands of years. And I'm not saying that, I'm not advocating for just going back to the old ways of, oh, the man does this and the woman does that, and that's how it should be, full stop. I'm not I'm not conservative in that sense. Like, the traditional values that I hold, but I'm not that conservative. But what I'm talking about is there are things that are so deeply wired in our psyche, both in men and women's psyches, that you just can't get away from them. At least not maybe we'll evolve more, but right now, the truth is that a woman enjoys it when a man takes the lead. It's just attractive, full stop. And, like, there's some women who might say, no, that's actually not attractive. I want it to be 50-50, or I actually want to be the decision maker in everything. Like, I'm not saying those people don't exist, but by and large, if you take the random girl on the street and you say, I'm going to take you on a date and I'm going to make these plans and, meet me on X date at X time at this place, and you lead her through the date, chances are she's going to be more attracted to you, okay? One of the things that I've heard a lot from women that I've been with, and I know some other guys have as well, is like a genuine, heartfelt compliment for doing just that, for giving the sense of direction, for taking the lead. So I've had girls tell me this in the past, and honestly, in the exact same wording, they would say, I love it when you take the lead. I love it when you make plans for us and I just have to turn up and enjoy myself. Like, especially that second sentence, I just have to turn up and enjoy myself. Like, if you can provide that platform for a woman to just be herself and let her hair down, and she doesn't have to worry about the logistics, the planning, and the more of like a masculine hat of thinking. I'm not saying that just men do that, but it's just more of a masculine energy type activity of like making the plans, the logistics. And she probably has to do that in her day job, and she probably wants a break from it when she's with you. So the fact that you can allow her to just relax in your lead is going to set you apart from so many other guys out there, from honestly 90, 95, maybe even 99% of guys, especially in today's world when you literally see, I'm sorry, but a lot of men just being mumbling idiots next to their girlfriends, next to their wives. They just turn up and they don't even know what's going on. They don't even know what place they've just entered. She will literally pick the table for them. She will sit them down. She will tell them exactly what they're going to have for dinner, or she'll sort out all the logistics in the household, and he's just going to be like along for the ride, like all happy, jolly. And man, it's just, I think it's sad. Okay, so we don't want to be like that. But how do we actually go about setting up the dynamic where you're the one taking the lead, but without being overwhelming and dictator-like around her? You don't want to snub her every suggestion. She still ultimately has free will and can think for herself. You need to respect that, obviously. But how do you strike that balance? So the best way I've personally found is whenever there's a decision to be made, and that's often when you step into the role of taking the lead, whether it's something as simple as choosing where to go for dinner. Let's say you're just at home with your girlfriend and you feel like going out for dinner. Your ass should be on your phone looking through suggestions, right? Like places you'd be meaning to check out, places that she might like based on the things she's told you, right? Like you should always be a good listener, and if she says she has decent taste, then obviously be mindful of them. Then you're the one proposing that route forward. You're saying, oh, we can go to X place. That's quite good, and it's got this thing you like. Let's go at like 8:30. I'll phone them and I'll make the booking. And she might say, no, like let's do it earlier or later, or let's actually go to this place I'm dying to go. I just remembered about it, whatever. And in that case, like you can be fine. You can be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me see. That place actually looks good. Oh, it's got this thing. Yeah, let's go. And this time actually also works. So see what's happened there. She's basically rejected your plan, but deep down, and trust me in this, like she will appreciate that you took the lead and you proposed the direction, right? You just got some extra brownie points right there. Congratulations. Now, once you're on the date, things like proposing where to sit. And again, if she says, oh, I really hate the window seat, let's sit more cozy, like at the back, whatever, then that's also fine. But again, it's you providing that sense of direction. And that's something that should bleed into every area of your relationship with women. If it's something like, oh, what should we do about this thing? Like the sink broke down, or like the sink's leaking, right? I'm just making this up. You're going to be the one, okay, like let me have a go at fixing it. Oh, okay, let's just call the plumber. I'll make the call. I'll do this. And, we'll get it sorted. She'll feel confident and at ease and more feminine in your lead. And you're going to see a much better version of her if you do that. Now, contrast that to the relationships that you've probably seen, like we've all seen around, where the guy is just this mumbling idiot, doesn't know what's going on, and basically the girl is driving everything. And it's probably quite exhausting for her as well. Like, who wants to make plans for, like, not just herself, but two people, her mumbling boyfriend who is supposed to actually be a man next to her, right, and make life easier. He's an extra liability. He's now making her life harder. So when she walks past the guy who's actually got his shit together and he's willing to take the lead, and he's going to ask her out, and on the spot, he's going to propose and make plans, and all she has to do is say yes or no. I mean, yeah, sure, she might be super loyal and not cheat, but can you really blame her when he's got this other guy's got that really like masculine sense of direction, compared to her mumbling idiot boyfriend who can't even put two and two together and take her out to dinner and like actually set up a date? Can you blame her? So why am I saying that taking the lead is something that men raised by single mothers particularly struggle to do? Well, because chances are you've not seen the dynamic. You've not seen a man take the lead in the household. You've not seen your father be a husband to your mother, chances are you've seen the way I've seen my mother be this strong, like lioness, like she's an absolute hero for, raising you, and maybe you've got siblings, raising you and your siblings all on her own. And, she kicks ass, she's a gangster, she gets this done, she brings in the money, she's also a mother, she's also a father at the same time. She's just cool, and she's your one source of authority, right? You just see her as the leader, and she's been taking care of you ever since, for as long as you can remember. Your default setting as a young man, then going on to date women in your life, and I've experienced this myself, is that you're like subconsciously, and it's really messed up, but subconsciously you're going to be looking for that same like nourishing role, like nourishing energy in the women that you date. And it's almost like you want to take on the role of being the son, like, to the women that you date, which sounds really messed up, right? But that's what happens. And you end up in this sort of relationship dynamic where you're expecting the girl to literally like take care of you like a little baby and coddle you. And that's just like one of the most repulsive things from, a polarity perspective. You should be that masculine rock, and she should be that giddy little girl who, just melts around you and follows your lead. She's not supposed to be your mother. Like, she doesn't want to be your mother, bro. Okay, she's not gonna fuck you if she feels like she's your mother. Okay, I'm gonna be blunt with you. The dynamic that you're going for is not this like weird, like symbiotic, like mother-son dynamic with a girl. No. You want that father-daughter dynamic. Father-daughter dynamic. You want to be that man who's masculine. He's doing good things for her, but he's also solid. He's emotionally stable. He's got his shit together. He doesn't need the girl in his life. He really wants her in his life and to go on dates and have amazing experiences together, but he doesn't need her, right? To nourish him and to cuddle him. And she's gonna be that cute little girl that you tease and, like actually like tickle, and like she goes all giddy, and you just kind of like treat her like this kid. Oh, like, you're so cute, you're so silly, like when you say this. And it's not in a disrespectful way. It's just you're speaking from a source of strength, almost like, and if she was raised in a nuclear family, like she'll have a healthy mindset around this. Like, she had a strong father figure that treated her like a little princess. And if you think about it, when you enter a relationship, that's kind of you stepping into that role. And she's just going to naturally gravitate towards someone who has the dynamic set up in the relationship. 100%. Like, if you don't believe me, if you think this is all manipulative and, like school and media have taught you that, no, like women are equally like as strong and they can do everything we do. And like, again, just because they can do it doesn't mean that they're going to be attracted or feel good in a relationship where they have to do it. Okay, there's a big difference here. So like, just turn your brain off and literally just try it. Like, the next girl you date, just try and take the lead and see what happens. So, I've spoken about why this is a big issue for men raised by single mothers, but obviously taking the lead is something that I think most of us men can do more of. Like, I can also do more of it, whether or not we were raised by a single mother or we had a nuclear family. So give it a go and let me know how you find it, or if you've already like implemented this, then what's been your experience. So that's it from me. Let me know if you agree or disagree in the comments below. I'm also building a Discord community of guys who are raised by single mothers like me, and we talk about everything related to becoming more competent men, whether in our dating life, in our careers, in our fitness. So if you'd like to join that, the link's going to be in the description. I also do coaching calls, so if you want to take a look at that, then that's also going to be linked below. I'll see you in the next one.